everyone, I'm here with the decks that I'm using for the month of March. First of all, I'll get out of the way that I changed my hair color. I was in the mood for something different and I saw this online. I got the idea from Pinterest. It's for kind of like this sunset flame kind of color, but to be honest, I kind of hate it. I think it's one of those colors that it would look really great on someone else, and no fault to my hairdresser because she's like awesome and amazing and she did a wonderful job on this. I just don't think it suits me, that's all. So I'm gonna make an appointment to see if anything can be done about this. We shall see. Follow me for more hair drama updates. I'm a Leo. My hair is kind of important to me. So anyway, but I will live with this for now, for sure. Like I said, she did a great job. It's a really like cool fade color. I just think it would look great on someone else. That's all. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here for me to talk about what decks I'm using in the month of March. So March, I am using the Steampunk Tarot. If you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, come follow me on TikTok. I'm doing my daily draws from the Steampunk Tarot. I usually take this out about once a year, usually in the springtime. I really love working with this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. It's it's cheesy theme, but it works. And these cards read really well. So there's several different Steampunk Tarots out there. All of them are from kind of the early to mid 2010s when it was more popular. But this is the one by Llewellyn, and it's the one that Barbara Moore wrote the book for. So I really like this one. I just love its vibe. It's a little bit more masculine in some ways, whatever that means. With all the cogs and wheels and gears. And of course, there's a lot of browns going on. Sort of that Victoriana mechanical kind of vibe to it. Very, very cool. But it really, it follows the Rider-Waite-Smith system. It's really well done. The artwork is really beautiful. And like I said, it really reads quite well. I find it just a very spot-on kind of deck. It's gentle, but still to the point. It always gives, very accurate readings. I like this one. It's very steampunky, mechanical. It's just a beautiful deck, and I always associate March with the god Mars. I mean, that's what the month of March is named after, so it just seems like a more masculine energy type of month, so I like to pick a masculine deck. It's also here, it's still winter, but snow's starting to kind of melt. It goes warm and cold, and it just gets very brown, so the brown tones I think are just like really appropriate for this time of year. It's a really beautiful deck. So that's what you're going to be seeing if you're following me for those daily draws, or if you get a reading from me, unless it's like, one of those readings where it calls for another deck, or intuitively I just feel like you are guided to another deck. And then the Lenormand deck that I'm using, because I usually pair Lenormand decks with my tarot decks, is the classic Lenormand. So that's what the backs look like. This deck is, I believe it's still available from Llewellyn. It's actually a really great beginner's Lenormand deck. It's got like the 36 classic Lenormand cards in it. The book is really straightforward and great. It's great for if you're just getting started. And then the images are quite clear on these as to what they are. It's also, based on an older Lenormand deck. So it does have, these pictures are very Victorian as well. So I think it pairs just really wonderfully with the Steampunk Tarot. It has that kind of, just that Victorian old-timey kind of vibe to it. Just goes really well. So I do like this deck. It's very straightforward. It's clear, like this is clearly a ring. It's obvious what it is. If you like to work with what cards are associated with each Lenormand deck, they're clearly marked on the picture. So very, very nice. Like working with that. And then for the Oracle deck that I'm using, that I'm pairing with these, of course, I had to pull out my Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Love this deck so much. It is so pretty, and it is made, it's collages from different postcards from the Victorian, Edwardian, and I think into the 20s kind of era. So it's all of these themes are kind of, in that era. So this very much looks like a pre-Raphaelite painting here. some really just beautiful imagery. This is very Edwardian. I love the colors in here. It's got a softness to it. And with the, you know, sort of more masculine, more edgy Steampunk Tarot, having this more feminine type of decks, it balances out the energy. I think it's just a very beautiful, lovely kind of deck. Love working with it. So I think that all three of these go together really, really well in a reading. So if you're booking a reading with me, these are the decks that you'll probably get when we're doing the readings. So pulling out the Victorian stuff, I do like to work with as well a like a god or goddess type deck. And this month I'm going to be working with the Goddess Power deck. Now, I do know that there is a little bit of controversy about this deck, but overall I still think it's a really good deck. Some people didn't like the way certain goddesses were interpreted. The author had said that she's not really looking at the historical or mythological goddesses, more about the energies that they represent. So I still think it's worth working with. I do like that there is a variety of backgrounds here and ages. Like here we have Bridget. She's represented as a more mature goddess. They're not all like young, beautiful, hunky, you know, kind of, you know what I mean. Like they're not all white, they're not all thin, they're not all young kind of goddesses. So I do quite enjoy that. And the softness of this particular artwork, I think, goes really well with the Vintage Wisdom Oracle as well. And she has some different goddesses in here that you don't often see in other decks. So it's really good representation, I think, across cultures, which I do quite enjoy. It's very beautiful. And she even has, you know, from Christian mythology, we have Mary. She's looking more mature. She doesn't look like a young woman. So I'm working with this one as well for the month. And then I like to work with affirmation cards too. And the affirmation cards I tend to switch up with this season. So I was working with the Miracles Now for the winter. It's still winter here, but for kind of spring, for like March, April, May. Eventually we'll get to spring at some point here. I do have the Power Thought cards. It just makes me think of spring, you know, with the green and the flower and everything. And these cards are very, very positive. It's just nice to have a nice little affirmation. It doesn't always have to be like dark and spooky all the time. So I am deeply fulfilled by all that I do. And they're very colorful. That past is over. That's very spring. The point of power is always in the present moment. More spring type energy. I experience love wherever I go. It's just like it's got like good spring vibes going on. Lots of plants and flowers and birds and just, it's very, very nice. Oh, this one's very cozy. This is very fall. My home is a peaceful haven. But overall, this deck gives me some really good spring vibes, so that's why I'm working with this one as well. So those are the decks that I'm working with. None of these are new decks. I've had all of these decks for, a long time. The newest one would be the Goddess Power Oracle, which I believe I got last year. But all of these other ones I've had for several years now, and I love working with them. I'm really trying to just appreciate the decks that I have rather than accumulating tons more. I do have like one more on pre-order, but I'm trying to just more appreciate what I have, and not saying I'm never going to get another new deck, but I'm finding like I'm a little more choosy and trying to really appreciate the ones that I already have. So let me know what decks you're using for March. Let me know if you like these decks. Do you have these decks or any of these on your list? Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts about the Goddess Power Oracle? As long as comments are respectful, I leave them. But, let me know what you think about them, what your thoughts are. I would love to hear it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder that, check out my Etsy shop if you are looking for, if you're looking for a reading. And then on the Patreon, in the Coven, we're working with Dream Magic this month. We're really soaking in those Piscean vibes, the Neptune energy for the month. So we're working with Dream Magic and intuition. So you can check that out there if you're interested in that. And I also have weekly tarot scopes and weekly astrology updates. So you can, check it out over there if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. And it's always peace and love and light.